who would fight an entire army with only their bare hands. This samurai did it against all odds, and he is considered one of the greatest warriors in Japanese history. He became a legend for taking down hundreds of enemies single-handedly, and when he fought against the best swordsmen of his time, he did it without even holding a sword. It's like watching your favorite superhero fighting with his bare hands. But this man is real, and there are many people who still practice his fighting style today. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss more videos like this one. Let's jump into it. The samurai, whose name was Miyamoto Musashi, had fought more than 60 duels in his lifetime. Some of these duels were pretty strange, but this one takes the cake. He was approached by a group of nearly 300 men led by Sasaki Kajiro, who was one of the greatest swordsmen of the time. They offered him to join them and become their leader. But Musashi turned it down because he didn't want to be the leader of a gang. He refused to join them unless they could beat him in a one-on-one match. Of course, they all agreed to that, but what happened next shocked everyone. Musashi went into the battlefield without any weapon. At first, everyone laughed at him, thinking he's just a madman. But no one was laughing when they saw how he fought. Musashi knocked out the first guy with ease, but the second guy was no joke. He was definitely one of the best swordsmen in the gang. He charged towards Musashi with his katana held high above his head. Musashi didn't flinch. He unleashed a powerful kick, connecting it right with the swordsman's face. The force of the kick sent the man flying through the air. He landed on the ground with a loud thud, but he wasn't done yet. Musashi rushed forward and delivered a thunderous punch that sent the swordsman crashing to the ground again. This time, he made sure to aim for the man's weapon. Musashi kicked the katana away, sending it skidding across the ground. He then leaped onto the swordsman, raining down a flurry of punches and kicks. Each blow was precise, powerful, and aimed at vital pressure points. The swordsman tried to defend himself, but he was no match for Musashi's skill and strength. After a few minutes of intense fighting, the swordsman lay on the ground, defeated and unable to fight back. With the key swordsman taken care of, the rest of the battle was anticlimactic. Musashi continued to fight, sending one opponent after another crashing to the ground. He fought with a combination of karate and judo, which he called Naiten Ichiru. The name means two heavens, one style. According to legend, he fought for over 2 hours, defeating every single opponent. By the end of the battle, Musashi stood victorious amidst a sea of fallen enemies. His fighting style was unlike anything anyone had seen before. He moved with lightning speed, striking with the force of a battering ram and defending with the grace of a dancer. His opponents couldn't land a single hit on him. After the duel, Musashi walked away from the battlefield with his head held high. As he disappeared into the forest, the defeated swordsman and his gang watched him go in awe and disbelief. No one could believe what they had just witnessed. The news of Musashi's victory spread like wildfire. People from all over the country came to see the man who had defeated an entire army of swordsmen with his bare hands. But Musashi's story doesn't end here. He was born on July 1584 in a village called Miyamoto. Musashi was an orphan. He grew up in poverty and had to fend for himself from a very young age. He traveled all over Japan learning different martial arts. In total, he trained under 14 teachers and learned 9 different martial art styles. But this wasn't enough for him. He wanted to be the best swordsman in the world. So he started his own school called Naiten Ichiru. As I mentioned earlier, Naiten Ichiru is a combination of karate and judo. Musashi believed that to be a true swordsman, you needed to be proficient in both weaponry and hand-to-hand combat. He developed a new style of sword fighting that focused on quick, precise strikes and powerful kicks. He also emphasized the importance of mental discipline and the use of strategy in battle. Musashi taught his students to be fearless, to think like their opponents, and to always strive for perfection. In the early 1600s, Musashi fought in several battles between rival samurai clans. He distinguished himself as a fierce and highly skilled warrior. His swordsmanship was unmatched, and his ability to inspire his troops was unmatched. During one of the battles, Musashi faced off against a samurai named Takanoshi. The fight was epic. The clash of steel echoed across the battlefield as the two warriors traded blow for blow. In the end, Musashi emerged victorious, but not without respect for his opponent's skill. Later in life, Musashi had a falling out with his mentor and left his clan. He traveled all over Japan, seeking worthy opponents to test his skills against. One day, he met a man named Sasaki Kajiro, who challenged Musashi to a duel. Sasaki was a master swordsman and confident in his abilities. He had a long, slender blade that he believed would give him the advantage in the fight. However, when the two fighters met on the bridge, Musashi surprised Sasaki by refusing to draw his own sword. Instead, he offered to use whatever weapons Sasaki brought to the duel. Sasaki, arrogant and overconfident, accepted the offer. He thought he would easily defeat Musashi without a sword, so he unsheathed his katana and struck. Unfortunately for Sasaki, he was no match for Musashi. Musashi blocked the attack and swiftly disarmed him. He then proceeded to knock Sasaki out cold with a single punch. This fight was probably the most important one in Musashi's career. It made him famous throughout Japan and cemented his status as a legendary swordsman. After the duel, Musashi continued to travel around the country, taking on all-comers and winning every fight. He was said to have fought over 60 duels during his lifetime and never lost a single one. Toward the end of his life, Musashi abandoned violence and took up painting instead. He spent his final years creating beautiful works of art that reflected his unique perspective on the world. He died in 1645 at the age of 61, leaving behind a legacy that would inspire generations of warriors and artists alike. When Musashi died, he left behind a book that contained his thoughts on swordsmanship and life. The book, called The Book of Five Rings, became an instant classic and is still read by martial artists today. In fact, many people believe that reading this book can help you become a better fighter. Let me know in the comments if you would like me to read the 5 rules of the Book of Five Rings in a separate video. Musashi was a true original, a man who refused to conform to the expectations of his society. He was a samurai who became a legend for taking on all comers and winning every fight. He was an artist who found beauty in the world around him. Most importantly, he was a human being who lived life on his own terms. He was the ultimate warrior and one of the greatest swordsmen who ever lived. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe, so you won't miss more awesome videos about legendary warriors and battles. Thank you for watching. Until next time, remember to stay humble and train hard. You never know when you might need to fight an entire army with only your bare hands.